What up, YouTube? Dark Thub coming at you, restarting the Redstone University. So, in the last video, I had my skin again, and once again, they uh, they got me. They got me. So, my buddy showed me this the other day, and if you'll notice, the redstone goes to the bell, but it's not getting the bell. Right? You close that, and of course, it's gonna ring the bell. Open that. And it doesn't ring the bell, but check this out. You cut that other direction, and there it goes. You ring the bell. So this Redstone University is not to be confused with the last one. This one is Bedrock Edition. Okay. I'm going to break it down into 3 different categories. In the red shulker box, we have redstone dust, torch, block, repeater, and comparator. I also got an observer, a redstone lamp, a trap chest, a tripwire hook with a string. I just put the string in there because it goes with the hook. You can also use it with the observer. Daylight sensor, weighted pressure plates, heavy and light. You got pressure plates, stone and wood. Same thing with buttons, stone and wood, and you have a lever. I am putting these 3 in their own: a jukebox, a target block, and a note block. They're kind of niche. You know, you gotta have their very specific use. And that's about all they are. That's why I categorize them separately. In the black shulker, we have all your rail stuffs: activator rail, detector rail, powered rail, your minecart with chest, regular minecart, minecart with TNT. Of course, I don't see the minecart with hopper there, but trust me, you want it. Over here in the gray box, you have your dispenser, your dropper, your hopper, your sticky piston, your slime block, and your honey block. I put these 2 in here because they work in conjunction with your sticky piston. Alright, so we're going to start with redstone dust, and if you'll notice, I've got a line of redstone dust right here. You give it full power. Okay, I got a lever right here, so we're going to use the lever. You give it full power with that lever, turn it on, and you power 15 blocks. 16th block does not power. Okay, notice the redstone lamp. Okay, I turned it on, I turned it off. Same thing, button will do. You push the button, it releases after a moment, and it releases power. You have a wood button, will last just a little bit longer, and if you will notice, a wood button, if you shoot it with a projectile, it will also hit. And it won't release until you remove your projectile. Okay, next I've got pressure plates. Okay, so the pressure plates work much the same way. You have stone. You step on that, bow goes 15. That's a full charge, is 15. You step on the wood, goes 15. The wood takes a little bit longer to release when you jump off of it. Same thing goes with these. You can hit them with an arrow as long as it's the wood one. It does not work with the stones. As well, you can throw an item on top of the wooden pressure plates. This also does not work with the stone. Now, weighted pressure plates, you have the heavy, you have the light. Okay, so we'll go ahead and throw that on there. Now you'll notice when I step on that, it only powers 1 block. Okay, and let's go ahead and we'll break out some items, and we'll show you what this puppy here is about. So you throw a single item on that, and you notice it lights a single. And you throw them on there fast, and it goes up fast, but then it comes back down, and I threw quite a few on there. So a whole stack won't do it. But a whole stack plus 1 will go up. So 1 on there will make the first one light, and then a whole stack after that will make the next one light. And the weighted pressure plate takes even more. 10 and 1 is what it takes to get to the next level. So 1 item will start it, and then 10 stacks for the next charge. Alrighty, and the very next one we're going to do is the redstone block. Boom. Give block, we'll give a constant signal, full strength. It can be moved with a piston, which we don't have in our inventory right now, but we'll go over pistons shortly. The torch will do the same thing, okay? You put it there and it powers the line up to 15 blocks. Now, I will say with a caveat, check this out, okay? It runs off of this block here. Now, if you power that line, this turns off. That's called inverting, okay? It takes the opposite signal of the block that it's attached to. This one's on because this block has no signal. And to demonstrate, just like that. Next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the repeater. So give this signal strength of 15, and on down the line, this right here has a signal strength of 1, but each one of these repeaters is going to give out a brand new signal strength of 15. And this one, notice how I click that, each time you hit that, it adds more time. So if you want to delay your signal, go ahead and click that. That helps you time things. Notice how that one in the middle there with the longer delay takes a little bit. One more thing you can do with the repeater is you can lock it. So you've got the repeater sitting here, put another repeater into the side of it. Let's give this power. Now you see that bar there, that means it's locked. Okay? That means that if you remove power from the back, you still get power from the front until you unlock it. Now that it's locked in the off position, give it power in the back and it will not receive power in the front until you unlock it. And now we have the comparator. And the comparator is different from the repeater, whereas over here you have a signal strength of 1 coming out the repeater. It replenishes it. Now you have a signal strength of 15. Out of the comparator, you just get the signal strength of 1 that's going in the back. Okay, so now right here, it's getting a signal strength of 4, or no, not 4, 15, 14, 13, 12. So it's getting a signal strength of 12 in the back. It's going to spit a signal strength of 12 out the front. Now you can power it from the side as well, and what that does is that locks it from accepting power in the back. So it's different from the locking of the repeater. You don't need a repeater to come in. You just need a signal to come in, and it'll turn off any power in the front. Now you can put this guy in subtract mode, at which point you'll subtract the signal coming in the side from the front. Now what did we say this was? This was 12 coming in the front. This would be 15, 14. So you're subtracting 14 from 12. That's why it's turning all the way off. Let's go over here and let's subtract, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to subtract 8 from 12. That should give us a signal strength of 4. 4. And we'll take 6 from 12. That should give us 6. 6. One of the main things I use comparators for is to detect if there are items inside of a container. So you got a chest here. Run a comparator out of the back of it or the side of it, or just run a comparator out of it and throw an item in there. You'll notice you get a charge. And the charge will depend on how many items you have in that container, or how full the container is. So you'll notice that it gets 1 there. Let's throw some more in here. You'll notice it gets another charge. And you'll notice that this will work through a block, which is helpful in hiding your redstone devices. Next, we have a trapped chest. Now a trapped chest, what it does is it gives signal when opened. And when you close it, you remove the signal. Now it only gives 1 signal strength, when you open it. And next we have the daylight sensor, which senses daylight. So it's full light source right now. It's full power coming out the end. You can toggle this bad boy to detect nighttime, and now that you have full light, you have no power. And you can add a little bit of darkness and add a little bit of charge. Remove the darkness, remove the charge. Toggle this again. Look at that. You got a full charge, full daylight. Remove a little bit of light, remove a little bit of charge. It's that easy. This next one goes back to the old school. It's rather big, kind of hard to hide for what it is, so I don't really use it that much, but it is the tripwire hook. You get these guys from fishing and survival. Notice that when you put the string and connect it with the string, they toggle. And you can hear it when you go across, and notice that you put redstone there, and somebody stepping on that line, they get full power. And the next one we have is the observer. Notice that when I placed it, it had this arrow pointing at me. Okay, this is where the signal comes out of, and this is the face. It observes what's happening in front of it, this block here, not this block. Okay, this block. Notice how it flashed. Anything that happens in this block, any change, and it detects it. It's called an observer, so it's observing this block. And that goes with just about anything. Okay, I said before the string can go with the observer, so now it'll detect me being on the string. That's useful for farms. Next we have the note block. Okay, and what we'll do is show you that when you give it power, it gives a note. You can toggle it and change that note. So now I left it there, it's going to give you that note. And if you change what block is underneath it, you can change what instrument is being played. And next we have the target block, and it is, as the name implies, a target block. It'll signal when you hit it. See how far that went? You get closer to the center, and it gives you more signal. Next we have the jukebox, and the main thing this does is it plays music. So you get a music disc and you can put it in there and you can play it. And if you'll notice, it's giving a signal as it's playing. Toggle it, it'll spit it out. And these can be fed through hoppers as well. Kind of like that intro. Next we're going to see what these guys do as far as redstone charge. So they've all got dust on them. We'll put a torch coming out the side of each of them and then power those. Okay, so that one takes power. That one and that one do not take power. Okay, so we had that test. Now let's see what these guys do as far as blocking dust. So that blocks dust. That's a full block. That is a half block. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then this one is a half block as well. Okay, so that would be why they do not take charge. It's good to know your blocks. Next we have hoppers. Okay, I'm going to use that in conjunction with a container. You crouch to place it in the container, otherwise you're going to access the container's inventory. Okay, so we've got those, and you see which direction they're facing. If you put it just on the ground, it goes like that. Okay, and there's a difference between these things. Okay, because if you put an item in here, it's trying to place it in the block below it. That's not a container. Okay, if you place that same item in this hopper, it's gone. It put it in this one put it in that one, and now it's in the container here. Same thing happens if you just drop an item on it. Goes over here. This works through partial blocks as well. So you got that slab there. It's going to work through the slab. You got that carpet there. It's going to work through the carpet. Next, we're going to talk about pistons and sticky pistons, okay? You give it power, it extends. You remove power, it retracts. Same thing goes for the sticky piston. Difference is this one has a piece of slime attached to the front of the block. They will both push blocks forward, but the piston leaves the block, whereas the sticky piston pulls the block. Okay? Now, it can only pull the block stuck to the side of it. If you want more than that, you're going to need a sticky block, a slime block, or a honey block. Now, honey blocks will stick to other honey blocks, but not to slime blocks. And the same thing goes with slime blocks. They will stick to other slime blocks, but not to other honey blocks. And whereas you can move that piston with this slime block, you cannot move this slime block backwards with this piston. And you can use that for flying machines and the like. It's also good to note that these things have a limit of how many blocks they can push. That limit is 12. That was 12, it just pushed. A 13th block is no good. Same thing goes with the sticky and the sticky blocks. Okay, that touches another block, it's not going to go because you just exceeded that 12 block limit. And very last, we have the dispenser and the dropper. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to place some items in here. Okay, you got just regular blocks. Okay, you push the button, spits it out. Push the button, spits it out. You know, they look like they work pretty much the same, and they do in a lot of ways. Other ways, not so much. So let's go ahead and get that item out. So it works that way with blocks. Okay, let's put in a type of projectile. So now when I spit the dropper, it just drops the item and I can go pick it up. The dispenser, however, shoots the arrow, and you would take damage if you were standing in front of it. Now another difference, if you have a container that these are facing and you have items in those, you push the button here, give it power, and it just spits it out past the container. Push the button here and it passes an item into the container. Every time it gets a signal, it passes another item. 4 times, 4 items. Alright, if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I plan on doing the next video in this line on how to run redstone lines. After that, I'm thinking that it might be something like probably either circuits or logic gates. After I get done with those, I'm going to go into rails and then maybe combining everything up to make simple little devices that you can use in your Minecraft survival worlds. So yeah, it's been real. Peace.